How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Money in Life TV. I am Mike, the CPA, and this is my sidekick, Chipper.
Awaiting orders.
Today, I'm super excited because we're going to be talking about Roth IRA tax-free income, and we're going to be looking at on-screen examples of how much income, tax-free income, you can expect to generate from your Roth IRA later on in life. If you're new to our channel, I just want to take a moment to say welcome. If you're interested in learning more about personal finances, investing, taxes, and things like that, I would go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. You can find that subscribe button down below because we make new videos every single week around these subjects, and we also produce videos on this channel to help you with your career and your life. All right, guys, if you find this information helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, and let's get started. This video is kicking off a series of videos I'm going to be making around Roth IRAs, and you're going to be seeing the power of compounding interest. And also in this video, you're going to be able to see the power of investing in a Roth IRA and the power of the tax-free income you can get from it later on in life if you do it right. So let's look at some on-screen examples right now. And you're going to see me go to a spreadsheet, and the spreadsheet is going to be available for download for free in the description section below this video. So make sure to check it out. And I'm going to leave a Dropbox link to that spreadsheet, and I may also put it on my website, moneyinlifetv.com, so that you can use it and refer to it anytime you want. All right, without further ado, let's look at the spreadsheet we have created, and you're going to see that it's going to break down not only different rates of return, so you're going to be able to see at what rate your money would grow, but also you're going to be able to see how that would impact your income from your Roth IRA later on in life. Now, I'm making this video obviously because of this audience and because of this channel, and you guys have requested that you want to learn more about tax, more about investing, and Roth IRA is an area that covers kind of both. It's a tax and investing topic. And I really encourage you. I mean, this is one of the best investment vehicles you can use if you qualify for it in order to save and build up an income for your retirement. There's hardly anything out there that beats this today in terms of stock market investing and things like that. The money you can invest in here will greatly impact and aid you in retirement. Since I'm talking about the future, I just need to take a moment, guys. Just excuse me just for a second, because I need to talk just for a moment directly to my brother-in-law. You see, I have a brother-in-law, and he's a great guy, but he's only 22 years old, and he's in a situation right now where he has earned income, which means he would be able to put money into a Roth IRA, and he could set one up. And he's in a good living situation right now, so he's living at home. So this is the perfect time for him to start one, right? He has very few expenses, and if he uses money wisely, he's going to be doing a huge favor to his future self, right? So excuse me for a moment. Hey, brother-in-law, I hope you're watching this video, and I hope this video finds you well. I was thinking about you, and as I put together this spreadsheet, and I was like, man, you know, this is a great opportunity for you. And I'm just thinking about what this could do for you later on in life because we care about you. So I just wanted to take a moment and say and tell you that if you don't take advantage of this great opportunity you have in front of you right now and do something such as a Roth IRA, I'm going to rock your world. Oh, and it doesn't stop there. If you still decide that this is not a good idea, Chipper has some words for you, and you don't want to tick off the bird. All right, thanks, guys. I just had to have that one-on-one conversation with my brother-in-law real quick right there because we really care about him, we love him, and we want him to do well in life, as I'm sure you would want your family to do well, as well as your friends. So let's get started. So like I said, this spreadsheet is going to be available for download, and I'll link it up in the description section below this video. Now, I'm not going to cover all the rules of a Roth IRA because I'm going to do another video directly after this or coming up soon that's going to cover all the rules you need to know to establish and open a Roth IRA. But currently, just, you know, FYI, each person can contribute up to $5,500 a year into a Roth IRA. If you're over the age of 50, you can do $6,500 a year. So what that breaks down to, $5,500 a year, is roughly meaning you can invest $458.33 a month, and that is after tax. So the way that works is you get paid, they take taxes off your check, right? Well, the net amount of your check is the amount of money then you would have left over to potentially invest in a Roth IRA. So it's after-tax money. It's not pre-tax money like your 401k. It's completely separate and different from that. And now your 401k at your company might have a Roth option, and it might make a lot of sense to do that option. But the Roth IRA in general is just a separate account from that you can, a single person can contribute $5,500 a year into. And so this spreadsheet, just so you know, we're assuming, let me get to that box I've put on here. In the examples you're gonna see below, we're gonna assume that every year a person's going to max out their Roth IRA. In each year worth $5,500, right? And also assume that person is going to contribute money to this Roth IRA until they're the age of 65 and then they stop. Technically, you can contribute to it until you're about age 70 and then you have to stop. But just for this example, we're gonna assume $5,500 a year until age 65. And so we're gonna analyze that based on various rates of return and based on various ages. So starting right here, let's look at example 1, because example 1 assumes a very conservative 4% return, right? That's very conservative. And I think most people with their eyes closed could invest and get a return like that. So as you can see, the way this works is this column over here shows the age you begin investing in a Roth. So I've given a few examples. So from age 20 to age 50. And so every 5 years I've shown another example. And what this would mean is that this is the second column here is the number of compounding periods until age 65. So if you started at age 20 and you contribute to age 65, that's 45 years, right? Well, if we pull up our little calculator and we do 45 times 12, there's 450 compounding periods. So that's where that's coming from. Just so you guys know how that math works. Okay, and then this third column right here is going to show you how much money that would grow into had that person done it and got an average return the whole time of 4% on average. So as you can see here, and I'm not gonna read over all the numbers, but if you started at age 20 and invested $5,500 a year for 45 years, that money would grow into roughly $700,000, okay? Now, you're gonna notice, and I'm not gonna read every one of these because you can take a look and download the spreadsheet for yourself. All you need to have is Microsoft Excel 2007. So if you start at age 25, that's 40 years of compounding periods, which is 480. So 12 times 40 is 480 compounding periods. The money would grow to $543,000 instead, had you started at 25 instead of age 20. So you can see that's a pretty big difference. And just that difference alone, that 5 years, you wouldn't think 5 years would matter that much, but it does. Because if we look at the 694,000, and then we subtract out the next one below it, the 543,534, that's a $150,000 difference just by waiting 5 years. So the differences can be astronomical and they can be magnified based upon how long you wait to do this and the type of return you're getting. So that's what I really wanted to point out to you guys. And so if you've been on the fence of starting a Roth IRA, today is the day. Now is the time. If you have a spouse, you're saying, "Oh, please, honey, we got to start one of these things." Today is the day. Now is the time. You can show them this spreadsheet and you can show them mathematically how much it's costing you just by waiting. Now, me personally, do I have a Roth IRA? Absolutely. Does my wife have a Roth IRA as well? Absolutely. And every year we've started maxing those out. And I believe we opened them when we were 28. I wish I could have done it sooner, but 28 is when we started. But now every year, and this year I've got the money. So before we look at income amounts, let's go down the line and show you what some different returns would be like had you got even a better return. So in example 2, we're looking at a 6% annual average rate of return. So the whole time the person's investing, the person's getting a 6% return. And the numbers really are substantial. So look at, if you started at age 20 and you're able to get a 6% rate of return the whole time, you're gonna have about $1.2 million by the time you're age 65. Now, if you start at 25, you're gonna have 917,000. But if you wait to start until you're 50, which is only, about 15 years of compounding periods, it's only $133,000. So it's very insignificant. It's still better than nothing, don't get me wrong, but time will cost you a lot of compounding interest that you could have potentially earned. So that's what, if you have a 6%. Now let's look at example 3, which is around the stock market historically over the past 100 years ranges on average of yields a 6 to 8% rate of return. Now, if start at age 20, this is pretty amazing, but if you were able to start at age 20 and got an 8% average annual rate of return for 45 years, you would have $2.4 million by the time you're 65.
Dominating!
You would pretty much be set because the money you're gonna get from that is completely tax-free. So you could live on very little. If you started at age 25, now this I want to point out to you. Watch you'll notice as the annual percentage average rate of return increases, so does the magnification of the difference in time. So let me show you what I mean, because what I just said probably didn't make sense. But if you started at age 20, right, so you would have $2,433,096, minus, if you had just waited 5 more years to start doing this, 1.6 million or 1,610,700. A 5-year difference. You wouldn't think that. I didn't think this until I ran the math. It blew me away. But if you were able to get an 8% rate of return and invested the rest of your life into this thing as a single person, the difference in just waiting 5 years is $800,000.
That's really impressive. Whoa. Whoa, whoa. Bravo. Wow.
Which is enough to buy 2 homes in most places. It's amazing. It's just crazy. So that's why I want to encourage you to start today. Start now. Whatever you need to do to align your finances in order to do this, start today. So now let's look at, so we've seen what the money can compound to, because this is a lot of compounding interest examples, right? And I'm using a calculator to do this. I'm using a compounding interest calculator on my phone. It's the TVM calculator, I believe what it's called. I'll link up what it's called, and just so you guys know what app I use. And I would like to do a review on it at on that app, because it's such a cool app and it's free. And there's so many different calculators in there. And so that's what I've used to generate a lot of these calculations. Okay, so we've looked at what the money would grow to. Now let's look at how the income plays out and kind of how I think about that, or at least how I personally analyze that. You can obviously draw down the principal of the amounts you've put in. But if you're thinking like me, so my goal personally, I'm just gonna tell you, and this is just what I want to do. You don't have to do this obviously, but I would like to let this money grow to a substantial amount, and so that I can just live off the income and not touch the principal. And hopefully someday that extra principal, I can then pass that on to my family or my heirs or whoever to benefit from, so they can build more wealth even quicker, or donate a huge chunk of it to charity. That's my future plans. But anyways, if you come over here, now just scroll to the right, so it's lined up, so you just go from left to right. So let's look at the 4% rate of return example. And what I've done is I say estimated annual tax-free income based on the following, oops, I got an error there, based on the following annual dividend yields. So I'll fix this for you guys so when it's ready for download. But what this does, it says, okay, if you didn't touch this money, if you didn't draw down the principal, but just lived off the dividend yield, what kind of income would that generate for you on an annual basis? So as you can see here, if you look at just the 2% right here, so this column matches up with this one. I'm looking at this 13,000 as an example. So you would have, just by getting a 2% dividend yield, and there's tons of stocks out there that could do this. There's Microsoft, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, things like that could easily give you a 2% dividend yield or more. And what it does is it looks at 2% multiplied, 2% yield multiplied by what the total amount is, because that's roughly about the yield you'll get on this money. So that yield will give you a $13,000, almost a $14,000 a year income, which breaks down, if you want to do the math, $13,882. All you got to do to figure out what that is monthly is just divide it by 12, right? So just divide it by 12. And so that's about $1,156 a month in tax-free income. And it also looks at, now what if you get a 4% dividend yield on that amount of money? Well, check it out. You take 27, so 4% yield, and looking at this first row is 27,765 divided by 12. That's about a little bit over a $2,000 a year income. And the beauty of this income is it's completely tax-free. There's really no better income than tax-free income because it's not going to affect your taxes, which is amazing. So this is just tax-free money. So that would mean you wouldn't have to pull out as much from your 401k or other sources because you would have this much up front, completely tax-free, and you would get to keep all of it, which is so wonderful. Now, obviously, as it goes down the line here, if you wanted to look at what it would be for a 50-year-old, you would just look at this row right here and come across like this, and you can do the math the same. Now, just for sake of time, let me skip down to the 8% one because that's where it gets really fun. Now, assume that you were a 20-something year old, and somebody told you about this to start doing it, and you did it, and the money grew. And this is the kind of income you would have had you have an 8% return the whole time. So then your money grows into 2.4 million, right? In this example. Well, come over here. I think we could reasonably get a 3% dividend yield. Easily. I think we could. So let's do the math on that. 3%. So 3% is this number right here, right? 73,000, and that's this 3% multiplied by this total amount of the value of that person's account. So $73,000 per year is the annual income. So $73,000 divided by 12 is a tax-free income of $6,000 a month. Now, who can't live off that? A tax-free income of $6,000 a month. That's amazing. So that's the power of this thing, guys. That's the power of starting early as possible and building up a Roth IRA. Now, you might say, Mike, what if I'm married? How would that work out? Well, if you're married, for simplification purposes, if you both started maxing out this Roth IRA at the same time, which is rare, that would happen. But if you did, and you wanted to know how much more it would be if you had two people doing this, I've ran the math. I don't have it here, but all you would have to do is if this person, let's say your spouse started at the same time as you, and you guys both follow the same track. So let's take a 25-year-old, right? Let's say you both got married around 25 years old, and you both started putting money in. So what you would do is you would take this projected amount of $543,000 and multiply that by 2. And you would have 1.87 million. That's basically how the math works out if you had two people doing this. And because if you're married, each person, like I said, can contribute $5,500 a year into the Roth IRA. So that's if two people are doing it. So I wanted us to take a moment, guys, and just share with you the power of compounding interest and the beautiful power of the Roth IRA, because it's one of the only ways to get tax-free income. And hopefully they don't change the laws around this. But if you can qualify for this vehicle, this account, do it. I have mine through Scottrade, which is going to soon be Ameritrade because they're merging, or Ameritrade bought Scottrade. But the point is that there's many ways to start and open a Roth IRA, so check with your financial advisor. And like I said, I'm going to be making a whole series of videos around this topic because it's such an important topic in my opinion. And it's because I don't expect there to be Social Security anymore in the future, and I don't expect there to be pensions anymore in the future unless you're very lucky. That this is why it's more important than ever to figure out right now, today, regardless of how old you are, how much retirement income you're going to need, because the likelihood of you having Social Security and pensions is gone. So basically you have to self-fund your retirement, and it costs a lot of money to do it. Trust me, it does. But the sooner you start, the better. And having that income working for you, getting your money to work for you so you don't have to work the rest of your life, is what you're going for. At least that's what I'm going for. I think that's the kind of life you want. That's the kind of life I want. So if you guys enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, let me know by hitting that like button down below. Be sure to subscribe if you have not already. because every single week we make new videos like this that are basically help you improve your financial position, your career, and your life. And be sure to share this with a friend, especially a friend who's very young, like my brother-in-law. I hope he's still watching this. I hope you're still watching this, brother-in-law, because I would really encourage you. I'm like begging you to do this, because you're gonna thank your future self so much if you do. Now, if you don't do this until later on in life, it's still gonna be helpful, but as you can see, mathematically, time cost you a lot of extra money that you could have had you started earlier. And so that's what I wanted to make this video, so you could know how much income you can expect in the future from your Roth IRA, just from dividend yields alone. When it's pretty powerful, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. All right, guys, well, thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Thanks for sticking with me. You can make sure to download the list in the description section down below, and I will see you guys next week. And I will see you guys in the next video. Live life uncaged. Bye, guys.